Hi, this is Peter from Math Foundation and welcome to the first video in the second series on how to make a course in It's Learning. In this series we will go through the administrative part of creating a course and details you have to think about. In this particular video we will talk about how to add users. Log into It's Learning and go to Admin. Go to User and Access Rights. Here you can add users and search for users in the system. Click here to add a new user. Notice the asterisks on the right of some of the boxes. These indicate that those boxes are required fields where you have to put in information about a new user. I will fill those in. Be sure to select the box Must change password on next login to make sure the students can choose their own password when they log in. Make sure that the users write their passwords down so they won't forget it. Here you can choose whether you want the user to be a student, an employee or an administrator. And right here you can choose the hierarchy of where the user will be added. There will follow a tutorial on hierarchies later. Fill in an email address so that the user receives an email from where they can log into It's Learning. Email addresses are not mandatory, but by adding email addresses, users can receive new passwords and user information by email. This saves your organization a lot of manual work if the users forget passwords and usernames in the future. The synchronization key is where you can fill in a student number if you were to add a student. This way you can organize the different user accounts with numbers and you will be able to look them up easily. Lastly, click on Send email to user. If you need to add a lot of users at once, there is another way to add users. To do this, you need to upload a CSV file. You can make a CSV file within Excel. In the top row, you filled in the different types of settings you want to export, for example the user's first and last names, their email addresses and more. After you filled everything in, you can export the file as a CSV. Then you upload it to It's Learning, where you can select the different columns you want to import. Be sure to select the correct profile and hierarchy. Click Next and then on Finish. Now I'll show you how to add users to a course. Once you're in a course, click on More and then Participants. You can search the users you want to add by entering their first or last name, and you can specify your search to a hierarchy you've placed the user. Once you have found the user, select the role you want the user to have, as a pupil, a teacher or guest. This means you don't have to create separate user accounts for a teacher who wants to test the course as a student. Click on Add and the user is added to the course. As a teacher, you can also see the course as a student, even if your role is a teacher in the course. Click on the person icon and select the role you want to choose. If I click on Pupil, I see the course as a student and I get a feeling of how the course would look like. You can add more students at once if you're working with a hierarchy system. But that takes a bit of explaining and is a more advanced way of using It's Learning. So I will explain that in a later video. This was the first video in a series about the administrative part of creating a course. The next video will be about how to really get started making a real course that you'll be using. Thank you for watching.